Yeah, fantastic. You're on. Good.
Excellent.
All right, great. Well, look, a very warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is our weekly Zoom call, and at the moment we have got a huge focus on Birmingham at the end of February, and we've got a series of speakers coming on over the next couple of weeks, all focused on Birmingham, all telling us why they're excited about Birmingham. And all of them are speakers at Birmingham as well. So that's just fantastic. Our speaker tonight is a real legend in our business, Gordon Hester. He has spoken at numerous conferences. He's always an absolute highlight of the conferences. Gordon has a tremendous ability to set in context what we're doing sort of economically, but also sort of understanding so well the strategy of the business and how to become really successful. And he knows that because he is Jeff Roberti's business manager. Jeff Roberti is the top earner in our business, and he's approaching $90 million earnings. So absolutely staggering achievement, and Gordon has been right by his side for the whole period of this great journey. So Gordon, it's an enormous pleasure to join for you to join us, and thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for everybody to tune in and listen in. Good.
Yeah, well, great. Well, look, we are recording it, and so we will be putting it out on YouTube after the call. But we've got, I think, 50 people on at the moment. It'll probably go up, and we've got a lot of people from all over Europe, really. So a very, very warm welcome to everyone. Gordon, the first question I'd really like to ask you is, so that people can understand a little bit, tell us about your background.
My background, when I went to school for accounting, worked in the public accounting world for about 5 years, primarily in the tax department. After that, did a couple things and got hooked up with Jeff about 25 years ago. Originally got brought in with Jeff to run some of the associated business with this, and over the years have kind of moved into the position of kind of running his business and financial operations.
Amazing. And I mean, obviously, it's been an amazing, extraordinary journey. Where are you based? Are you in, what part of Florida are you in?
I'm in Sarasota, Florida.
Right. Okay. Right on the beach? Yeah,
about an hour south of Tampa. Matter of fact, if I look out my window, I see the Gulf of Mexico right now. So
don't tell
not
us.
A bad place to be.
Okay, well, that sounds amazing. So, Gordon, just tell us a little bit about, when you first came across Juice Plus, what was it that really made you interested in it?
Well, when we first came across Juice Plus, it was sort of a transitional time with the company. We had come out of the environmental business where we had done over $1 billion in air filtration, $1 billion in water filtration, and we were sort of looking for what's the next big thing, what's the next place to get positioned. And at the time, I had gotten a business plan across my desk called Juice on the Run that was written by a doctor, Dr. Smokey Santillo. And Juice on the Run was what became Juice Plus. And I still remember it because I've looked at so many business plans in my day, and it was one of the few I've ever acted on. And the reason was so simple. The executive summary of it said fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And I was like, wow, if they can really put food in a capsule and something as timeless and foundational as fruits and vegetables, then this could be an amazing product for the company. And that was how I found out about Juice Plus, how I got involved with Juice Plus. And I can tell you, 23 years later, that my belief in the product is stronger than it's ever been. In my lifetime, that's such a focus of serving others. It's been the greatest thing I've been involved with that's made a difference in the world.
Wow. Well, thank you, Gordon. That's fascinating. It's really interesting to hear how you were sort of involved right from the word go. Literally before it even became Juice Plus. So that's extremely interesting. I just really wanted to ask you, though, before we move on a little bit, is to ask you a little bit about your perception about what Jeff was doing and what Jeff was achieving when you first saw him and first met him, because clearly, obviously, you come very much from a financial background.
Yes.
And suddenly you see this extraordinary thing of network marketing, and you see this extraordinary individual. There's no question Jeff is an exceptional individual, achieving phenomenal things. What were your thoughts about what you were seeing when you first saw that?
I guess the first thing that pops into my mind is all-out massive action. The one thing that I understood about Jeff from the beginning is that he was willing to work harder than anybody else. And he was really hungry and really obsessed about building his future. And as he used to say, I was willing to say no now so I could say yes for the rest of my life. So when I first met Jeff, he was embraced in all that massive action. He had a proven system. He had a way to go out and recruit and attract good leaders. And he went to work. And, he went to work and had a lot of success. It took him a year to get to a six-figure monthly income. When everybody else was growing and he was growing, I think the thing that distinguished him from everybody else is when everybody went into lifestyle mode or decided to stay here, he packed his bags and built the international market. So, we look at Europe right now, everything in Europe is underneath Jeff because he made the decision to go over and build it. So Jeff was a hard worker. Jeff was in the right place at the right time. He had the right mentality, the right work ethic. He had something that was proven. But to be honest with you, I think what stood out is he was willing to do something that other people weren't willing to do. And I think there's such a principle in that successful people do things that unsuccessful people won't do. And Jeff did all those things. And, now it's been, oh my gosh, so many years later. And, the last 4 years have been his biggest years in the business. And it's all because of the energy that he put into those early days and that all-out massive action. And, of course, being aligned with the right company and the right product and the right leaders.
I mean, that's fascinating. And I mean, Jeff's story is a legend in network marketing. But, for the new people listening for the first time tonight, when we talk about all out massive action, what would Jeff be doing on a daily basis? How would his day look as you could observe it?
Yeah, for me, his day looked like somebody that had a clear understanding of what they were paid for. So Jeff was very focused on his sales system. And he talked to a lot of people. He promoted the business to a lot of people. In the old days with his system, he could talk to maybe 500 to 1,000 people a week, which back then was a tremendous amount because the entire kind of process of sales back then was who do you know? It kind of was all built on a memory jogger. Now with social media, that's all turned upside down. And, we now see the young kids, I call them the Gen Yers, doing things that weren't even possible when Jeff was in business. But his DMO was focused on what he got paid. He never got off track on things like personal development, even though he's massively focused on personal development. When the timing was right and Jeff was at work, his DMO was doing the things that he got paid for. So, of course, he was out getting customers. He was out recruiting people. He was working hard to build relationships and fuel engagement and keep people in the game. And because his focus was on what he got paid for, he got a lot of results. He didn't have a lot of inefficiency in what he did.
Yeah, and I mean, you must have seen him, though, get a lot of no's. A lot of people must have said no to him. And how did he take that? Or did it affect him, or did it just brush it off, or how did he handle that?
I would say that it inspired him. Jeff isn't a person that a no means anything to him. If he were here on the phone, he would tell you every no for him meant he was one step closer to a yes. It motivated him and it inspired him. He never really had the fear of rejection because his passion for what he wanted to do, for his goals and his dreams, was greater than anybody's opinions. It was greater than rejection. It was greater than any obstacle. And of course, listen, I can guarantee you as many people as he talked to, he had more no's and rejection than anybody else out in the field. It just didn't stop him. But for most people, it does. And that kind of goes back to like all the data, all the research. The number one reason why people don't succeed in this business is because of fear. They get stopped by something like rejection, and they'll let the opinions of the critics and other people stop them from achieving their dreams. Jeff never had that type of thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating that it almost like he knew the outcome before he started. And I often feel that that's one of the crucial elements, that once people get the vision, then they become unstoppable. And that, in a sense, leads us into talking about the conferences.
Yes.
Can you just talk me through a little bit, again, coming from a background of economics, very straightforward financial background, suddenly coming across conference scenario on vast proportions, huge numbers of people, thousands and thousands of people voluntarily spending their time to go to a conference. What really struck you about what was going on there? What was your perception when you first saw that?
Yeah, so before I touch on the conference, I just want to mention one thing that you said. There's no doubt that Jeff's vision was huge, but Jeff's success was in execution. And that's where all success is built. You know, you can be the greatest streamer in the world. You can have all the visions in the world. If you don't execute, if you're not doing the activities and you're not committed to it, you're not putting in the hard work, it's hard to get results. So I think the mastery of his thing, of course, vision was a part of it, but he was such a master of execution. As for the conferences, when I went to the first conference, I've been to approximately 60 of them now. So I feel like I've been around a long time, probably a lot longer than some people have been alive on this call. For me, it felt like this amazing experience. It's one of the few places where I really think people get to see the real vision and possibilities of what our culture offers. You know, they see the best leadership, they see the best trainings, they see the management team, they see all the people together, all the unity around the mission. There's just so many things that go on. And in Jeff's theory on the conference it was his best recruiting tool. And he invested constantly into the conference, still does, because the ultimate answer is that's where he got the best results. So, you know, you can take somebody, and I'll just give you an example, somebody like Lauren Slocum. You know, Jeff tried to get Lauren in the business for about 17 or 18 years and couldn't get her in the business, got her to go to a conference 5 days before the conference. So, of course, he worked right till the end. He knew there was actually more value in working to the end. He could get a lot of people last minute versus even trying months and months in advance. So he got Lauren to the conference, and if she was on here, she'd tell you she went just so she could say no to him finally. And she left there seeing a vision for her life and what this product and opportunity could be. And, you know, because of that, she's a huge success. So to me, the conference is your best recruiting environment, and it's also the best environment to strengthen your belief in your relationships.
So what would Jeff be doing? I mean, what would you observe him doing? He would be maybe booking a whole lot of extra tickets for other people. He would then be obviously planning to invite and to get people there. He'd have a prospect list of people that he was going to take. How many people would he be focusing on it for every conference? Obviously, for Jeff, it would be a lot more than perhaps, you know, a standard approach. But, you know, what would he be focused on there?
Well, rule number one is he never went to a conference alone because he felt that was a wasted effort. And yes, I've seen him at conferences where he invited hundreds of people, where he would run contests for rooms, where he would pay for rooms, where he would pay for travel there, where he would run incentives for his teams and his leaders. You know, it is not uncommon for Jeff to literally invest tens of thousands of dollars into the conference. And I know for the average person, that seems like a lot. And I'm not telling you to do that, but what I'm telling you to understand is there's great power and a great momentum builder is to bring somebody with you. If you can bring one person, that's great. If you can bring 10, that's even better. Jeff's goal was always get as many as he can. And then when he got there, as he would say, he played full out. So if you ever see Jeff at the conference, he's in the front row. He doesn't leave the conference. He attends all the events. He attends all the trainings. He goes and he teaches why he's there. You know, the whole time we're both that way at the conference. From the time we're there till the time we're leave, we're engaged trying to add value to that conference and to learn from the conference. And he still operates that way today. I know when you see him in Birmingham, if you want to find Jeff, go look in the front row. I guarantee he'll be there with somebody.
Yes, well, I'm sure. No, I've seen him there many times, and he does definitely lead by example. I mean, that's very impressive. But Gordon, from your standpoint, I mean, as we approach Birmingham, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail, what are you most looking forward to when you see what's been going on in the UK, of course, what the essence is of the business in the UK, the energy, the excitement? What are you most looking forward to as you prepare to go to Birmingham?
Well, you know, first and foremost for me, I'm a people person, so I'm really excited about seeing everybody. I haven't been over to the UK in over a year, so it's going to be great to see the leaders and spend some time with them. For me personally, this conference I have some unique roles in, and I feel like this is a conference that I'm looking to bring substance to the conference. So the conferences tend to be hugely motivational. We see tremendous stories, tremendous emotions. People get very inspired at the conferences. And I think that's all great. I tend to come from a different place. And that different place is, I believe in substance. I'm coming there teaching people what I've spent 25 years of my life mastering. How do we do execution? How do we do better at this business? What does our industry look like? We're in one of the most misunderstood industries in the history of the world. I'm actually working on a book about this right now with over 17 years worth of data. And it's a really compelling story about how unique this business model is and how uniquely we're positioned in it. So I'm excited to share all that. For those of you that may have seen me before, maybe you haven't, what I'm going to share at this conference, I've never shared before. Simon saw me do some things years ago, and I'm stepping into a different role. I've been doing all this research, and I think the better you understand about this industry and how it works, the more success you can have. And ultimately, that's what I try to bring to the table. I want everybody to have more success. No matter what level. If you're new, I want you to have success creating momentum. If you're number one in that market, I want to have you success growing. And that's what my focus will be. That's what I'm excited about in the conference.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, and we really appreciate everything you do, Gordon. The substance that you bring is absolutely first class. Can you just sort of tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening on the Thursday? So you're running a special day on the Thursday. And what is that going to be all about? The conference is on the Friday and the Saturday, but what's the Thursday going to be all about?
So years ago, Simon saw me do a sort of a financial planning event for the NMDs in North America that he thought was a really good event. And he had called me to say, would you be interested in doing something like that in the UK? And I said, well, I'd be willing to do one better than that, something I've never done before. And that is to teach the leaders how to build wealth inside our culture, but also outside of our culture. Because, a lot of our leaders can do well. And just because you do well doesn't mean you're going to do well financially. And, a lot of people really don't understand the path to creating wealth in our business. So I want to give them that clarity. I want to understand, what the mindset has to be, where you have to focus, what the process looks like. And then if you get that and you begin to create wealth in the business, how do you really turn that into wealth in life? How do you begin to create, in essence, some form of financial independence or financial freedom? And this is sort of the life I live. And I'm really excited to share, 25 years worth of knowledge and experience. And keep in mind, we're doing it at a pretty high level, the highest level of any distributor in the world. So I'm excited to share this. I think personally, I've done lots of trainings to lots of people, and certainly a ton of leaders and a lot of coaching with leaders. In all my time, I've never been more excited about giving an event than I am about the Thursday event. And, I get 4 hours to spend with the leaders, and I'm hoping every one of them comes out of there with a higher level of understanding of how to reach their dreams by properly managing their business. So this isn't a Juice Plus training. This isn't a how-to training. This is about how you build wealth in business and how you build wealth outside of it. So I'm really excited about the Thursday event.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to that. And I think that will be absolutely incredible. Emma Snedden we had on last week, and she said that you said to her that you'd lost track of the number of mothers and women who've become millionaires in our business. And to my mind, that's an amazing thing. And, people hear of, obviously the success stories in the UK, Katie, John, millionaires in the last 3 years. But a lot of really big success stories in the US, apart from Jeff, of course, and from people from very, very regular backgrounds. And can you just talk us through a little bit about what you've seen of how some people really have come from behind and really achieved a lot of wealth through our business?
Yeah, I've seen people that have achieved amazing wealth. And for what it's worth, I've seen people achieve amazing things at all levels. So, we talk a lot about the extreme, the people like Jeff that are making millions of dollars a year, and they become an example. And we talk about that financial freedom and financial independence. But to be honest with you, there's just so many people I know that have a different level of financial freedom. Maybe the part-time income they have is allowing them to have something they couldn't have, allow them to have more freedom from their job, allowed to build toward a full-time income so they in essence have control of their life versus working for somebody else. being able to expand that. When I look at the moms in North America, we just have so many that have a bigger financial life than they ever had when they started. And even more important, they're helping a lot of people. They're raising their families at home, sort of the things that they value. This became a good home for creating that. And, we have just so many that are successful. And, we're over here very mission driven. So our culture over here is very much about product and the customer journey and the customer experience. And we have a lot of stability in our customer base, which is why we have a lot of stability in our business. We're now seeing that all over the world. I will tell you that the younger moms, the Gen Ys, and I would include Emma in that group, they just go faster. We're seeing a level of speed and success we've never seen before. So, if I go kind of look at the top 30 list, there's so many names on there that weren't there 4 years ago. So I think the Moms on a Mission group is sort of taking over and growing in our business, but it's been a big part of our business. We're about 90% female based. That's the demographics that we have and the gender that we have. And it's a great business for that. And of course, that's expanding. And I think it's going to continue to expand. But personally, I love to help people move forward. So if you're kind of at the beginning, I want to help you create momentum. If you're stuck part-time and you want to go full-time, I like to plug in and help people there. And equally, I love working with the big leaders that have some level of financial independence or financial freedom to help them reach for a higher level. So, I tend to love momentum. That's my love. And, the fact that moms get to be a part of that just makes it that more special for me.
Fantastic. And I love the way you set that in context in terms of it's not necessarily the big things, but it's the smaller things that people can achieve that can make so much difference.
Yes.
Gordon, let me just ask you just very quickly, how would you set in context, what we are achieving with Juice Plus? Because we hear a lot that it seems as if we're sort of almost reinventing network marketing by having 90% of our customers just taking the product and not involved in the business. From your view as a strategist, what do you see that is going on? Because there does seem to be something very different and new happening with Juice Plus.
Yeah, if you look at sort of the network marketing industry, and this is part of what I'm going to cover on stage, but I'll give you a little bit of an understanding of how we're different. Because I believe at the end of the day, we are very different than the traditional network marketing company. And I would go so far as to say that I think we're the future of where the industry is going. So what's different? If you look at the industry and people that sign an application to start, about 70 to 80% of the people that sign an application to start never do anything. They don't even become a customer. We're the exact opposite of that. That isn't a problem that we have. When we look at customers with network marketing companies, we just don't see big customer bases. With us, it's about 85% of all our sales are a customer base. And because our foundation is the customer base and we're good at recruiting and systems and development and all the things that begin to help people move through leadership to have more success, we have more part-time people succeeding. We have more part-time people turning into full-time people. We have more full-time people building a better lifestyle. We have a higher percentage of financial freedom and financial independence than any other company I know in the industry. But the foundations of that are in the customer. We have this wonderful product called Juice Plus, a product that nobody else has in the world, a timeless product with all this science behind it. And with that product and the products related to it, we've sort of changed the way nutrition works. We created whole food nutrition. We have the highest rated scientific product in the world. People want our product. We can live on the merits of our product. And that is very rare in network marketing. When in network marketing, most people only can live on the merits of their opportunity. Our opportunity is the product, and the foundations of that are why we have so much success. So I don't think we're like the network marketing industry. I think we're the exact opposite of it. The only thing we share with them is a compensation program. We are much more foundational, traditional, with the beliefs of the customer experience drives business. This is kind of the mentality of our culture, certainly the mentality of the management team and the mentality of the successful leaders.
So if we're breaking away from network marketing, and you wouldn't define us really as network marketing anymore, which is very interesting, what are we? What are we becoming? What are we defining?
I think we share some things with network marketing, and I think the thing that we share the most is a compensation plan. If you understand sort of how business wealth works. It's just a simple formula. It's you times leverage. So the simple thing is you can be as successful as you want, but unless you're being paid off of the efforts of others, you become limited in how much wealth you can create. And that exists in any business model in the world. Network marketing is different from direct sales. Direct sales is a storyteller marketing a product. When you add network marketing to that, you allow yourself to build a team of people doing the same thing. So with that, you create unlimited possibilities. That's the part we share with network marketing. What we try to stay away from is overhyping opportunity, kind of building pictures and visions for people that are not realistic, making our business about marketing hope and not turning hope into reality, driving with opportunity and not driving with customers. These are how we differ from network marketing, and we continue to go down that road. So I think we're a little bit of a hybrid. We have a lot of direct selling on us in terms of the storyteller to the end consumer. We have the compensation of network marketing. We have the training of more the franchise world that is heavy on training, heavy on systems and processes to help people succeed. And then we also have some corporate elements. We have benefit plans and things that you really only see in employment structures and you don't see in network marketing, but we have that. So I think we're a hybrid.
Fantastic. So, as people come to the conference, and I think you put it so well, people are going to see a wide variety of different things going on. They're going to see the corporate, they're going to see the business side, they're going to see the customer side, they're going to see stuff about the science, but nothing is going to be overhyped. And I think that is one of the things that people are surprised about with our conferences, the lack of hype. And I think that's very refreshing. But we're just going to sort of coming to the end, really, Gordon, and you've been amazing. And thank you so much for being so clear. What would you say to someone who's on the call tonight and thinking, you know what, I'm thinking of going to Birmingham, but I'm just not quite sure. Should I go? I feel like I've only just started. Is it too much, too early? What would you say to someone who's a little bit undecided about what they should be doing?
Yeah, in my opinion, 25 years into this and with the level of success we played, there's two things that you always have to invest in to be successful in this business. One is yourself. Kind of the concept of you grow before your business grows. The other is the conferences. I don't know anybody that has had long-term success in this business that doesn't go to every conference. This is, our World Cup in essence. This is where everything comes together. This is where you see the possibilities. And not only would I tell you to be there and find a way, but don't make the mistake of coming alone. Because if I were to talk to you afterwards, what I would hear from you is, wow, I wish I would have brought somebody with me. And, share a room, do whatever you have to do, figure out a way to get there. I can't remember the last time I had somebody that I kind of encouraged them to get to the conference that didn't come out to me afterwards and say, thank you for that encouragement. It really made a difference. This is a place where you see that vision, you get that clarity, you get the instruction that you need. And this can be the kickoff for your future. So I think it's really important to be there. To me, it's a must.
Fantastic. Well, you're the expert. You've seen it. You've watched it grow. There's no better endorsement that can come from you, Gordon. So we're just going to finish now. We're right on half an hour. We're 9 o'clock here in the UK. I know you're probably about 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in Florida. But Gordon, we just can't tell you how grateful we are for you taking the time to come with us and to join us and to speak so well about your experiences, but most importantly, to just endorse your view and what you see and the excitement of everything that is happening. So we really, really look forward to seeing you in Birmingham. And
thank you. I want to add one quick thing that I didn't say that I want you to understand it, and I'm going to share a little business principle with you before I leave. The easiest way to make a business work is to connect at the beginning phase of a momentum wave. I will tell you that right now, you guys have the biggest momentum wave in the UK that I have seen over the entire history of the UK. I know what you're doing this month. It's not setting records, it's crushing records. And there's things going on there that I would have not even believed were possible. And when things are that way, when timing's in your favor, show up or roll up your sleeves and you can set yourself up for the rest of your life. So don't miss this opportunity.
Thank you, Gordon. Beautifully said. So we look forward to seeing you in Birmingham, and we look forward to having as many people there as we possibly can. So we're incredibly grateful. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Good night, and we'll see you next week if you're going to join us. Otherwise, we'll see you in Birmingham. Good night. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Take care.
Good night.